Welcome ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to take a look at the Stamina Dragonknight PvE build for Dragonbones DLC. This is a trial and dungeon setup. I do have a written guide on my website if you want to go check it out. You have pretty nice stats. Now at the moment I'm wearing Twice Fang and Acuity, but I will talk about sets in a second. We are running the Warrior Mundus Stone, the best for dungeons and trials. Just keep in mind, you should get close to the penetration cap, which is mostly 18.2k. If you cannot get there, run the Lover Mundus Stone. Buff food wise, we are running the normal max health, max stamina buff food, and the weapon crit potions. In terms of race, I highly recommend being in a Red Guard. It's the strongest the strongest race because of Adrenaline Rush. It just helps with sustain, and even but you also get 10% more stamina and more recovery. Recovery doesn't matter, but 10% extra stamina is still a little bit better than the 8% extra crit from the Kashyyyk. So you will have easier sustain and a little bit more damage on a Red Guard. But Kashyyyk, Orc, Imperial, they all work. Imperial might actually also be very nice because you get a lot of more health there, which can save your life a lot. Now, in terms of gear, please also make sure to not forget to subscribe. I will upload more videos in the future. Now, before I talk about the specific setup that I run here, I just want you to remember on my website I have a lot of gear sets listed, and I also have a separate article in the endgame section where I talk about how you can optimize stamina DPS setups. Now, this setup is for when I play alone and there is no other stamina player in the group. So we have Two-Fanged Snake, offers the highest penetration for any set. The next best would be Spriggan, gives you a little bit less, but it's also still good. We have 5 pieces of that. Jewelry here, all weapon damage, and then I have boots and the panties. The second set I'm running is Mechanical Acuity. It is really nice. It's a little bit stronger than Hunting's Rage, but the difference is basically 0 to 1%. So if you have Hunting's Rage already, keep it. Another thing I want to mention, if you have several stamina DDs in your group, it might be that you want to run Thunderflame, Night Mothers, Morak Tongue instead of the Mechanical Acuity set. So there is a lot of good options, and it's quite difficult to find the right combination of gear, especially if you have several DDs, stamina damage dealers in your group. Just that as a reminder. We are running all divine with stamina enchantments. Another thing I want to mention is I have 6 medium pieces and 1 heavy. If possible, make the chest heavy, you will get a little bit more resistance. But yeah, not that bad if you have the chest medium and the helmet heavy. The last set I'm running is Validrev. It's simply the strongest monster set, especially the stam DK. Mephala is also decent, but I think Validrev is a little bit strong. It gives you weapon damage and it shoots 3 disease spores out, so it's just really nice. Also a little bit AoE damage, and it procs basically on cooldown. If you want, you also can run 5 medium, 1 heavy, 1 light to get a little bit more health and all that stuff. It's really up to you. The reason why I run 6 medium is because we get a little bit more crit and cost reduction for stamina abilities. In terms of weapons, bow bar, you need a Malsum bow. You will lose quite a lot of damage AoE wise. A Master's bow is actually also really nice for single target damage. It's basically about the same, but Malsum bow will be better for AoE fights. And we're also running damage health poisons. They add another 2k DPS, so it's pretty nice. Front bar. Now you know, Mechanical Acuity set. Basically you have a 15% chance to gain like the mechanical vision. Basically making you crit for the next 5 seconds all the time. So that's it's just really nice, and you will get around 26 to 28% uptime even if you only front bar the set. I found that one axe and one dagger gave the best results. A dagger, let me just go to the passives here really quickly to showcase you. So each axe gives your melee attack an 8% chance to bleed enemies, and each dagger increases your weapon critical by 5%. And yes, we already have 100% crit with acuity, but it's not up all the time. So that's why I run one dagger and one axe. Make sure the main hand Nernhone poison and on the offhand infused weapon damage enchant. Very important. That's it about the setup. Again, check out my website. I have a lot of good stamina sets listed there. CP 56, 22, 61, 61, and we have 40 here. We have quite a few direct damage abilities, so it's actually nice having points in Master at Arms. Nothing, then 40, 40, 76, 49, 35, 49, 49, 48, and 13 and 81. We have a lot in Ironclad because most damage you take in dungeons and trials is direct damage, so it's actually nice. I also do have the CP listed on my website. In the end, play around with them a little bit, try to find the comfortable spot for you. This is just a recommendation, and I might swap CPs around during the patch, so make sure to go check out my site. Okay, that was it about CP. In terms of passives, make sure to have all class passives, dual wield and bow. Then you need medium armor, heavy armor, juggernaut to get a little bit more health. Fighter's Guild, Undaunted, the racial passives, and medicinal use in alchemy. This is very important, so your potions basically last for the full duration till you can activate the next pots again. It's very, very strong. Stem DKs have a few really nice passives, or like Dragonknights in general. Increases the damage of your burning and poison status effect by 50%. They actually hit a little bit harder. Here also Whirling Ruin, a little bit more. Increases the damage of your flame and poison AoE abilities by 6% if we use Noxious Breath. Here mostly defensive, and now stem DKs can sustain very easily. We do heavy attacks, like we have heavy attack rotation. You also can find the rotation on my website. I have a ton of videos uploaded from trials and all that stuff on my YouTube, so check out the playlist. You will easily find DK gameplay there. Now Battle Roar is really strong, so you see for every ultimate ability point we restore 46 health, 46 magic and 46 stamina. But that's why sustain is so easy. We also get minor brutality, and Helping Hands restores 1k stamina every time you use the Earthen Hurt ability, which is Molten Armaments. It has a long duration, but yeah, the heavy attack and Battle Roar will be more than enough to sustain. Abilities, Venomous Claw, really, probably the strongest dot in the game actually. And very cheap as well, only costs 1 stamina, basically free. Deadly Cloak. You want to keep this up all the time. It deals nice damage and you get 25% AoE damage reduction. It's just so neat. Most stamina DDs die because they cannot keep up Deadly Cloak, because they forget to activate it or something like that. Noxious Breath. This is also a nice dot. And you see afflicts enemies with major fracture, reducing their physical resistance by 5280. So it also debuffs the enemy. If you want, you could actually run Shrouded Dagger there. It's a little bit more AoE damage. That would be another option you have, just as information. Rending Slashes, another strong dot, also quite cheap. Flames of Oblivion. Now, try to keep this up all the time. It is flame damage, however, this ability also scales off max stamina and weapon damage, so it actually deals a lot of damage. Flawless Dawnbreaker. We usually use this on trash. It deals a lot of damage. On top of that we get 5% weapon damage from the ability. When we go to the Fighter's Guild, we get another 3% from this passive. So 8% extra weapon damage from this passive alone. Endless Hail, like this bar always looks the same for me on any stamina tune. Very strong damage over time effect, and it's basically the strongest AoE you have and the strongest single target ability. So it's a must have, especially if you have a Maelstrom bow. Rearming Trap deals nice damage and gives you minor force, increasing critical damage done by 10%. Poison Injection. Here you want to keep this up all the time also. It does moderate damage from 100 to 50% and 50% to 0. The damage ticks increase by a lot. Razor Caltrops, very expensive ability, but it also deals a lot of damage. And then we have Molten Armaments, which buffs our heavy attacks by 40%, which is really nice. Standard of Might, use this on single target fights because it buffs all our damage. You see, standing in the area increases your damage done and reduces damage taken by 15%. On top of that, it also deals a little bit flame damage, which is nice. If you don't like the standard, you also could swap it out for the Ballista here, which might be easier to use on moving targets. That would be another option, but I still recommend running the standard because you will get a little bit more damage overall. That's it about the skill setup. Another thing to mention, what you actually can do is a lot of people slot Rearming Trap, for example, on the front bar or something like this here. So you get another 3% weapon damage. So you have 8% from this and another 3 from this. But for me, it's simply kind of a habit to have it this here. So I can drop my Hail, Trap, Poison Injection and Caltrops and then weapon swap again. You will see if you watch gameplay videos, I always have this setup more or less. That's basically it. If you do have any questions, make sure to ask me in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.